Aurora and Arthur Petrova, Farmyard Fun.
Thank you.
On Thursday, July 25th, in 2019, the sun is a blistering bastard, casting a heat that is nothing short of obscene. At 33 Falmouth Road, Springfield, the atmosphere is heavy with a dismal, stagnant air as Petar and Maria face a kitchen that is quite literally and virtually bare. The fridge is a desolate tundra, devoid of sustenance, a redundant eyesore in the heat of the day, with only a solitary tattered lemon to obstruct the view in a most pathetic way. Petar adjusts his blue glasses, his expression one of pure, unadulterated dismay, for his belly is rumbling like a cacophony of thunder on a summer's day. He is an aspirant lead pastor, a man of God, albeit prone to a bit of a bloody foul mouth when the hunger begins to gnaw and the circumstances are south. Maria, adorned in vibrant orange to conceal the scars where the boiling water once did its worst, is feeling particularly incensed, her patience having finally and totally burst. Glad mi sme Petar, she cries, her high ponytail bobbing with an erratic, frantic energy, while the heat of the Essex afternoon makes her feel as though she's on the brink of a massive synergy. Aurora, at the age of 12 3/4, is a loquacious girl with a vocabulary that would make a dictionary blush, though today she is feeling anything but hush. She dons her pink glasses and adjusts her fake fringe with a meticulous, almost clinical care, her two low ponytails framing a face that is currently a mask of absolute teenage despair. She is ravenous, her stomach a void that screams for more than just a piece of cake, and the move to Birmingham is a prospect she simply cannot and will not take. Birmingham? You're having a laugh, you absolute wanker. She yells at the walls, her heart heavy with the thought of Cockshut Hill School, a place she finds appalling and calls balls. Arthur, her younger brother of 11 and a half, is the absolute antithesis of her mood, for he is ecstatic and exhilarated by the thought of a new school and even better food. With his green glasses perched on his nose, he is a vision of youthful, enthusiastic hope, believing that at George Salter Academy, he'll find a way to more than just cope. He is the apple of his mother's eye, a boy who's usually right as rain, while Aurora feels like a fish out of water, trapped in a relentless, Birmingham-bound pain. Under no circumstances are we staying here to starve like a pair of goddamn idiots, Petar declares, his ire rising like the morning tide as he glares at the stairs. The black BMW is staying put. It's resting its wheels, but Maria's Polo is ready to roll for our farm fresh meals. The 2004 gray Volkswagen Polo sits engine prone to various erratic mechanical ways. Maria sighs, her orange glasses catching the light as she prepares to embark on this quest, though she knows the Polo is substandard and by no means the very best. Don't judge a book by its cover, she tells Aurora, who is busy taking the mickey out of the vehicle's age, her teenage angst reaching a new, unprecedented level of stage-managed rage. Aurora accidentally kicks the tire, her foot throbbing with a dull, repetitive ache, as she protests the journey with every single petulant breath she can take. This car is a pile of shit, she screams, her vocal cords strained by the incessant, excessive noise, while Arthur just laughs, enjoying the chaos with a sense of juvenile, unbothered poise. Petar climbs into the driver's seat, his blue glasses sliding down his sweat-slicked nose, as the heat in the car intensifies and the discomfort rapidly grows. Get a wriggle on, you lot, or we'll be eating at the 11th hour, and my hunger is reaching a peak that is turning quite sour. Aurora sits in the back, her arms crossed tight, her face a picture of pure, unadulterated gloom, feeling as though the confines of the Polo are nothing short of a tomb. She longs for the BMW, the car that Petar usually drives to Birmingham for his work, leaving this gray little hatchback to feel like a cruel, mechanical quirk. It's the thought that counts. Arthur chirps from his seat, his green glasses reflecting the Springfield streets, as he dreams of the farm and the promise of various high-quality meats. The engine sputters to life with a sound like a dying asthmatic beast, but they are determined to reach Deersbrook Farm for their impending midsummer feast. Petar navigates the roads with a manual, somewhat clunky, and inconsistent skill, his determination to find food overriding any lack of a professional driving thrill. They arrive at Deersbrook Farm, a place of rustic charm and a scent that is quite the olfactory blow, where the grass is a vibrant green and the pace of life is intentionally and wonderfully slow. Maria steps out, her orange clothes a stark contrast to the earthy brown tones of the yard, as she prepares to engage with the livestock, which she finds neither difficult nor hard. Arthur is out in a flash, his green glasses wide with a sense of genuine, unbridled wonder, as he hears the cows lowing with a sound like a distant, rolling thunder. "Look at the size of those bastards," he cries, pointing at the herd of cattle that grazes nearby, their large brown eyes reflecting the clear Essex summer sky. The hunger is exacerbated by the sight of such potential, a treasure trove of farm-based delight, and the family knows that their empty fridge crisis will soon be set quite right. "Stay alert," Petar warns, his blue glasses scanning the horizon for the first sign of a farmhand. "We need to collaborate and gather the finest produce in all of the goddamn land." They approach the dairy, where the cows are being milked with a rhythmic, mechanical sound, and the air is thick with the smell of fresh cream that can easily be found. Arthur watches as the frothy, white liquid fills the pails, a sight that is second to none, and he feels a sense of achievement that has only just begun. Maria picks up a block of butter, yellow as a primrose and heavy as a stone, and a wedge of cheese so pungent it could stand entirely on its own. "This is the bee's knees," she says to Arthur, her orange glasses shimmering with a newfound culinary greed. Exactly the kind of high-quality fats that our empty bellies truly need. Arthur nods, his green glasses slipping as he tries to maintain his balance on the slick stone floor, feeling more than a little bit like a kid in a sweet shop, or perhaps even more. They gather the milk and the dairy with a care that is almost, but not quite, religious in its scope, providing the family with a much-needed, high-caliber glimmer of hope. Petar and Arthur move towards the fields where the sheep and the goats are kept, where the grass is short and the fences are meticulously and expertly swept. The sheep are a fluffy white cacophony of bas and bleats, looking like walking clouds that are destined to become quite delicious meats. "Don't get too attached," Petar tells his son with a laugh that is slightly, inadvertently grim. "For some of these woolly bastards will soon be on a plate, filled to the very brim." Arthur giggles, his green glasses catching the light as a goat tries to nibble at his sleeve, an act of cheeky, animal defiance that he finds quite difficult to believe. They arrange for some lamb, a choice cut that is exemplary and beyond any doubt, a staple of the roast dinner that they simply cannot afford to go without. The goats are feisty, their horizontal pupils giving them a look that is both alien and wise, as they watch the Petrova men with a sense of quiet, ruminative surprise. Aurora follows her father to the pig pens, where the mud is thick and the stench is a severe, almost physical blow. But the pigs themselves are quite impressive in their pink, fleshy, and rotund glow. "God damn, they're hideous," Aurora mutters, her pink hair clips catching the sun, though she knows that the pork they provide will be second to absolutely none. Petar ignores her petulance, focused on the task of procuring the finest, most succulent ham, while the pigs oink and snuffle, completely oblivious to any impending culinary jam. He accidentally steps in a puddle of muck, his blue glasses fogging with a sudden localized heat, as he curses the dirt and the grime that has covered his once clean feet. "You total dick," Aurora laughs, her mood lifting just a fraction at her father's minor, muddy plight as she watches him navigate the piggery with a sense of intense, focused might. They secure the pork, a heavy, crimson-streaked bounty that is destined for the oven's heat, making the farm-to-table journey feel like a truly monumental and impressive feat. Maria and Aurora head to the coop, where the chickens are a flurry of feathers and a shrill, incessant cluck, and the ground is littered with straw and the occasional avian-based muck. They collect eggs, warm and smooth, their shells a variety of brown and cream tones, feeling the weight of them in their hands like precious, delicate, and fragile stones. "Don't break them, you clumsy bitch," Aurora jokes to her mother, her loquacious tongue never missing a beat, though her tone is more playful than her words might initially and superficially suggest in the heat. Maria ignores the insult, her orange ponytail swishing as she reaches into a nest to find one more, her movements practiced and calm, like she's done this 1,000 times before. They gather a dozen, perhaps more, for the Yorkshire puddings and the cakes they might bake, ensuring that every element of their meal is the best that they can possibly make. The chickens scatter, their wings flapping in a brief, frantic, and rather ineffective display of flight as the Petrova women finish their task with a sense of quiet, focused, and shared delight. Arthur and Petar are tasked with the grains, finding a barn filled with sacks of flour and oats, where the air is dry and the dust motes dance in the light like tiny golden boats. They hoist a heavy bag of flour, white and fine, which will be the foundation of their feast, a necessary ingredient that is by no means the very least. "This is heavy as hell," Arthur grunts, his green glasses sliding as he grips the burlap tight, but his father helps him lift it with a show of his lead-pastor aspirant might. They also grab porridge oats for a breakfast that will be wholesome and full of beans, avoiding the monotony of the empty fridge life by any and all available means. Petar feels a sense of nostalgia, a longing for a simpler time when he wasn't so stressed by the move, and he finds that the physical work of the farm helps his spirit to slowly and gradually improve. "That's more like it," he says, patting the sack with a dusty, flour-covered hand. "We're gathering the building blocks of the best damn dinner in the entire Essex land." Maria and Arthur find the hives, where the bees are a relentless, buzzing, and golden-winged force, and the scent of honey is a sweet, intoxicating, and quite natural course. A beekeeper, clad in white, helps them select a jar of honey that is clear and bright, a liquid gold that promises to be a source of pure, unadulterated delight. "The bees are busy little motherfuckers," Arthur observes with a grin, as he watches them dance, his green glasses reflecting the shimmering hexagonal patterns of the honeycomb's expanse. Maria smiles, her orange glasses shielding her eyes from the glare of the afternoon sun, as she realizes that their farmyard adventure is proving to be quite a lot of fun. They also find applesauce, a tart and tangy complement to the pork they've already secured, which has been simmered and sweetened until its perfection is totally and finally ensured. "This is the business," Maria declares, her voice full of a warm, motherly pride, as she tucked the jar into their basket with a sense of satisfaction she simply cannot hide. Aurora and Arthur find themselves near the orchard, where the trees are heavy with fruit and the shadows are long, and the air is filled with the sound of a distant, melodic, and quite pleasant birdsong. Aurora is still grumbling about Birmingham, her mood as sour as a crabapple on a cold winter's day, but the beauty of the farm is starting to wear her teenage cynicism slowly and gradually away. "I hate it there, Arthur. It's a total shithole compared to this," she sighs, her pink glasses reflecting the dappled light as she contemplates the move with a sense of genuine, heartfelt hiss. Arthur just shrugs, his green glasses firm on his nose, as he picks an apple and takes a bite, his enthusiasm for the future remaining bright and ever so remarkably light. "It's not the end of the world, you big baby," he says with a mouthful of fruit. "You might actually like it if you stop being such a miserable, ungrateful, and loquacious brute." Aurora accidentally drops her basket, the sound of it hitting the grass a dull, rhythmic thud, as she stares at her brother with an expression that is a mixture of surprise and a tiny, microscopic bud of love. Petar and Maria meet at the vegetable patch, where the earth is rich and dark, and the plants are growing with a vigor that is a testament to the farmer's spark. They dig up potatoes, earthy and round, and pull carrots from the soil with a satisfying pop, ensuring that their vegetable haul is truly and absolutely top crop. "Look at these beauties," Petar exclaims, holding up a parsnip that is long and white, his blue glasses reflecting his pride in finding produce that is so clearly and demonstrably right. They gather onions, leeks, and a head of cabbage that is green and crisp as the heat of the day begins to wane and the wind carries a cool, refreshing lisp. Marija feels a sense of accomplishment, her orange clothes now slightly marred by the dirt, but she doesn't care, for the success of their mission has healed her initial hungry fridge hurt. They collaborate to fill the remaining space in their crates, knowing that the time for their roast dinner is drawing near, and the outcome is left to the fates. Aurora and Marija are in the berry bushes, where the fruit is ripe and sweet, and the thorns are a constant, prickly, and quite annoying threat to their feet. They pick raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries that stain their fingers a deep royal purple, feeling the warmth of the sun as it begins to dip and the shadows start to circle and encircle. "These are better than those plastic-wrapped bits of crap from the shop," Aurora admits, her voice low as she pops a berry into her mouth and feels her bad mood finally and totally stop. Maria smiles, her orange glasses catching the last of the golden afternoon light as she watches her daughter find a moment of peace in the midst of her Birmingham-bound fright. They fill a small tub with the berries, a shimmering, multicolored prize that will be the perfect ending to their meal under the vast Essex summer skies. The work is hard, but the reward is great, and they feel a sense of unity that has been missing since the news of the move first reached their ears and sparked their teenage rebellion state. Petar and Aurora stand by the applesauce stall, where the jars are lined up in a row, and the scent of cinnamon and spice is a warm, inviting, and quite comforting glow. "You'll need this for the pork, Aurora," Petar says, his blue glasses glinting with a sense of paternal advice. But Aurora just curls her lip, her expression turning as cold and as hard as a block of ice. "I hate applesauce. It's like baby food for old toothless cunts," she retorts, her loquaciousness returning with a vengeance that is both sudden and quite blunt. Petar sighs, his patience wearing thin, as he realizes that some things will never change, no matter how much farm-fresh produce they manage to gather and arrange. He buys the jar anyway, knowing that it's a necessary complement to the meal, even if his daughter's stubbornness is a variable that he simply cannot and will not heal. The tension between them is palpable, a lingering cloud in the midst of the sun, as the final part of their farmyard shopping is finally and totally done. They return to the Polo, which is now weighed down by the sheer exacerbated volume of their haul, and the car looks as though it might accidentally collapse or at the very least, stall. Maria and Arthur work together to fit the crates and the bags into the small, cramped boot, feeling like they're playing a high-stakes game of Tetris with their farm-fresh, high-quality loot. "I hope this old bitch can handle the weight," Marija mutters, her orange ponytail damp with sweat, as she pushes a sack of potatoes into a gap that is not quite ready for it yet. The car groans under the pressure, its suspension sinking low to the ground, but they manage to secure everything with a sense of triumph that is both quiet and profound. Arthur is exhilarated, his green glasses fogged as he helps his mother with the final bag, feeling like a hero who's just returned from a long and arduous, but ultimately successful, jag. They climb back into the seats, the interior of the Polo now smelling like a mixture of earth, meat, and sweet ripe fruit, as they prepare for the journey back to Springfield with their hard-earned, farm-based loot. The drive home is a slow, methodical, and rather bumpy affair, as Petar navigates the Polo with a sense of extreme, almost paranoid care. Aurora is silent, staring out of the window at the passing fields, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts about the future and what it ultimately yields. "Don't be such a mopey twat," Petar says, his blue glasses reflecting the road ahead. "Look at all this food we've got. We'll be feasting like kings before we hit our goddamn bed." Aurora just scowls, her pink hair clips glinting in the fading light, but she cannot deny that the smell of the fresh produce is a source of genuine, if reluctant, delight. They pass the BMW in the drive as they pull up to 33 Falmouth Road, the black car looking sleek and superior in its stationary high-performance mode. "We're home," Arthur shouts, his green glasses bright with a sense of relief, as the family prepares to turn their farmyard bounty into a meal that is beyond any and all belief. At home, the atmosphere is one of frantic yet organized pandemonium, as the Petrovas begin the process of turning their hall into a culinary encomium. Arthur is greeted by Harlow, the pink-loving Dalmatian princess, who barks with a woof that is both loyal and a little bit of a canine-sized stress. She wags her tail with a rhythmic thwack-thwack, her black spots a stark contrast to her white sleek coat, as she follows Arthur into the kitchen like a furry four-legged boat. "Hello, my beautiful girl," Arthur whispers, his green glasses sliding as he leans down to pet her head, feeling the warmth of her loyalty as the hunger in his belly is finally and totally fed. Harlow is a vision of grace, a dog who loves all things pink and soft, and she watches the chaos of the kitchen from her regal Dalmatian-sized loft. Arthur feels a sense of peace, a momentary reprieve from the move and the heat, as he shares a quiet moment with the dog, who is always so wonderfully and consistently sweet. Maria and Petar are in the kitchen, their movements a synchronized dance of preparation and skill, as they begin the task of cooking the roast with a sense of intense, focused will. The meat is seasoned and seared, the vegetables are peeled and chopped, and the air is soon filled with a scent that simply cannot be stopped. "You're doing a bloody good job, Maria," Petar says, his blue glasses reflecting the heat of the stove, as he helps her lift the heavy roasting tin with a sense of genuine husbandly love. Maria smiles, her orange clothes now stained with grease and juice, but she feels a sense of satisfaction that is both profound and quite loose. They talk in Bulgarian, their voices a low, melodic, and quite comforting sound, as they discuss the move to Birmingham and the challenges that will soon be found. "Всичко ще бъде наред," she tells him, her orange glasses shimmering with a sense of quiet, unwavering hope, believing that with a good meal in their bellies, they'll find a way to more than just cope. Aurora and Arthur are tasked with the smaller chores, finding themselves in a rare moment of cooperation in the midst of their kitchen-based wars. They set the table with a care that is unusual for their age, their sibling rivalry momentarily placed in a quiet, dormant cage. "This is going to be epic," Arthur says, his green glasses reflecting the flickering candlelight as he imagines the taste of the roast that is currently cooking with such might. Aurora nods, her pink glasses catching the glow of the room, as she realizes that her hunger is finally and totally reaching its impending culinary doom. They talk about Birmingham, their voices low and devoid of their usual loquacious bite, as they find a common ground in the midst of their shared farm-based delight. "Maybe it won't be so bad," Aurora admits, her voice a tiny, microscopic whisper of change, as she contemplates a future that is no longer so frightening and strange. Aurora takes a moment to feed Harlow, her pink-loving Dalmatian friend, who has been waiting patiently for her own farm-based meal to finally and totally descend. She gives her a bowl of fresh, high-quality meat and a splash of milk, which the dog devours with a grace that is as smooth and as soft as silk. "There you go, princess," Aurora says, her pink hair clips glinting as she strokes the dog's fur, feeling the warmth of Harlow's gratitude in every single canine-sized purr. Harlow is ecstatic, her tail wagging with a speed that is a blur of black and white, as she enjoys her own part of the Petrova family's shared farmyard delight. Aurora feels a sense of connection, a bond that is steadfast and true, as she realizes that wherever they go, Harlow will be there to see them through. The dog is a constant, a loyal and unwavering source of light, providing a sense of stability in the midst of the family's impending, Birmingham-bound flight. Arthur is tasked with feeding Kiev, the ginger tabby who is the self-appointed villain of the house, a cat who treats everyone as though they were a particularly irritating and insignificant mouse. Kiev is a waste of space, a creature of pure, unadulterated, and quite impressive ego, who regards the Petrovas with a disdain that is both lofty and high and low. "Here you go, you miserable arsehole," Arthur says, as he places a bowl of farm-fresh chicken on the floor, while Kiev watches him with an expression that suggests he's seen it all before. The cat sniffs the food with a sense of quiet, calculated deliberation, as if he's deciding whether it's worthy of his feline-sized, high-caliber station. He begins to eat, his movements slow and methodical, as he maintains his persona of being utterly and completely unsymbolical. Arthur just laughs, his green glasses bright with a sense of youthful, unbothered glee, as he realizes that even a villain like Kiev can be won over by a bit of high-quality, farm-based spree. The roast is finally ready, a masterpiece of culinary art that is the result of their hard work and their shared farmyard-bound heart. Marija carries it to the table, her orange clothes a vibrant splash of color in the room as the scent of the meat dispels the last of the afternoon's dismal, empty fridge gloom. "Dinner is served," she cries, her voice full of a warm, motherly pride as the family gathers around the table with a sense of satisfaction they simply cannot hide. Petar carves the meat with a precision that is exemplary and beyond any doubt, while the children watch with an intensity that is nothing short of a culinary shout. The vegetables are vibrant, the gravy is thick and dark, and the roast itself is a testament to the success of their farm-based spark. They feel a sense of unity, a bond that is reinforced by the food they've gathered and cooked, as they realize that the best things in life are often the ones for which they've personally and physically looked. They eat with a ferocity that is born of their ravenous, long-denied hunger, feeling the warmth of the food as it makes them feel both older and younger. The meat is succulent, the potatoes are crisp, and the carrots are sweet, making the entire meal a truly monumental and impressive feat. "This is the best damn roast I've ever had," Petar declares, his blue glasses fogged by the steam, as he realizes that their farmyard adventure has been more than just a culinary dream. Arthur agrees, his green glasses reflecting the joy of the meal as he savors every single high-quality and farm-based peel. Even Aurora is impressed, her pink hair clips glinting as she eats with a sense of genuine, if quiet, delight, forgetting for a moment her fear of the move and her Birmingham-bound fright. They talk and they laugh, their voices a cacophony of shared, family-based sound, as they realize that the best way to face the future is with a full belly and a sense of common ground. To top it off, Petar passes the jar of applesauce around the table, a final addition to a meal that is already a legend and a culinary-based fable. Arthur takes a dollop, his green glasses bright with a sense of sweet, tangy glee, but when it reaches Aurora, she makes it clear that it's not for her to see. "I told you, I'm shunning that crap. It's for babies and dicks," she says with a smirk, her loquaciousness returning with a final, stubborn, and quite characteristic flick. She pushes the jar away, her pink glasses glinting as she maintains her stance, refusing to give the applesauce even a single, microscopic or fleeting glance. Petar just chuckles, his blue glasses reflecting the final, golden light of the day, as he realizes that some things will always remain in their own, stubborn and Petrova-based way. They finish their meal with the berries, a sweet and simple ending to a day that's been more than they bargained for, and a memory they'll carry as they walk through their new, Birmingham-based door. The farmyard fun is over, but the taste of it lingers on their tongues, a source of strength and of hope as they fill their weary, Essex-bound lungs.